right? So welcome everybody. So yeah, I want to go to the settings here and let's switch off these boxes. Let's switch off the boxes for a minute, right? I hit OK. So I don't want to show the order blocks. But what I want to get your attention to is this one here. You see this equal right here? Wherever we see equal highs or equal lows right here, that is an important area or zone for us to keep an eye on. Why is that? Okay, look at this. All right, we saw this equal right here. Price is trending up. We know why the price is trending up based on what is happening fundamentally in the market, right? There's a war that's happening in Israel at the moment. And then there was, well, let's say there's a war. Okay. So what's cracking? Well, we have the market doing these equal highs and lows, these equal lows. Thanks for the indices last week. Keep them coming. No problem, man. No problem. So these equal level here, it is a setup. Type in the chat setup. Meaning trap. Type in the chat trap. 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 That's it. Trap. Just type the word trap. It is a trap. It is a trap. You know why it's a trap? Because the smart money is trying to get people to jump in and jump into the market to create what we call to create liquidity, basically. All right? To create liquidity. Give me 2 seconds. All right? Yeah. So it is a trap to create liquidity. All right. So check this out. I mean, check out how crazy this thing is. Check out how crazy this thing is. Right. So we got these equal down below here. Price has taken off. You know, people get jumpy, right? People get jumpy and they start thinking, oh gosh, price is gone. I miss out. No, you haven't, right? You haven't missed out at all, right? Look at this. Equal lows right there. We know that they've got some money below there, and the market is just trying to trap people in. And then look at what happened. It didn't come back the next day. It came back the day after. Look at what happened here. Woo-wee. Big long wick. See it? Big long wick. Take out all the liquidity, delete these equal lows, and then took off. And it didn't give anybody a chance to get in if you weren't conscious about this trap right here. It's a trap. But we caught it, right? Because we know that liquidity is building up right down below here. And all we just had to do was set a buy limit below there and we're off to the races, right? But look, even if you miss that, guess what? Look, there's another. Look, there's another right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Equal. As soon as we see that, we know what is going to be on. What is it? When we see these equal, what is it? Begins with T. Type in the chat. What is it? Begins with T. As soon as we see this, it's a trap. You guys learn fast, you know. You guys learn fast. It is a trap. It is a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. See that? So then what happened? Well, this setup is so beautiful because these equal lows here happen very close to a mood swing level and a fair price line. So all we just do is set our entry just above our mood swing fair price line right here. All right, we're buying the market again because we know fundamentally the market is rising because of what's happening. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. Right? We could literally close our eyes and walk away. And look at what happened here. Boom! Right there. Hey? Swoop! Trap. Take all the stop losses out. It's gone. And it took off. Right? Took off for over 600 pips. If you caught that to the pip, over 600 pips, and then it dropped off. Right? How many of you like this setup? So if you had this tool in your pocket, this setup is easy to find. If you like the setup, just drop a 7 in the chat. I think we're going to call this one the trap setup. Yeah. There you go. Easy. So now that you've got the tool, all you just do is go to your whatever assets that you're trading. Let's look for something like US oil has been up and down like crazy. Let's look at NAS, for example. And let's see what's going on there at NAS, right? Oh, 2 seconds. I need the ones that give information. NAS made a big M. You look at these letters and stuff, that doesn't mean anything to me per se. I mean, I think I understand what you mean. But right, so we were looking for the sell-off on NAS. It didn't pull all the way back to where we were looking, right? Which is all cool. Right? Better to be out of trade wishing you were in than in a trade wishing you were out. Okay. We had some equal here, but it didn't spike all the way up. So it doesn't happen all the time, but it is definitely a nice setup. Oh, somebody's in the waiting room. 2 seconds. Okay. But NAS continued to the downside. Fundamentally, we are expecting some moves. Well, we were expecting some moves to continue into the downside. We caught US 30 pretty nice last week. But here's what. We've got some things coming up now. All right, we've got some things coming up now that we need to keep an eye on. That potentially these indices could start making a turn. Now, all right, we do have to look at price structure here on the bigger time frames. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this NAS, I'm expecting it to fall, but you see this zone right here that is marked off right here? This zone is a very important zone. I'm going to talk about this a bit more in the class, in our class, with our private members, as to why I think that this zone is important, right? So it will be one of those sessions. But I'm gonna mark that zone off. I'm waiting. I believe that NAS, oh, sorry. I believe that NAS will continue falling down to that zone. So then what should we do? We should wait for a pullback, all right? When the market opens up, we are going to have a mood swing level form when the market opens up. Wherever this mood swing level forms, when the market opens up, is where we would want to look for entries to the downside. There's still a lot of liquidity below these discounted prices right here, okay? Still a lot of liquidity below these discounted prices. Therefore, right? Therefore, I believe that the market will look to grab that before it turns. But I am looking for the indices to start rising a little bit again, okay? Keep an eye on that, right? And again, we'll discuss why I believe that is going to be the case in our session. Okay, so there we go. Nice little session. Oh, nice little setup. I'm still going to be looking for a selling opportunity, but only when the market opens up, we'll see where our mood swing line falls. We do have a fair value gap right here. You can see it is in this color. This is fair value gap here, right? A fair value gap up here as well. Fair value gap here. So, okay, cool, all good. Now, what other assets are we looking at? Let's see, GBP USD. Now, the GBP had some bad news in terms of unemployment last week, or the week before, actually. And so it really took a hit on the pound. So the pound is down at the moment. Right? So it came beautifully to a mood swing level. It came beautifully to our fair price level right here. See that? Boom, mood swing level. Boom, right here. It's right within that zone and dropped off for over 90 pips on Friday. Okay. And again, let's look at this from a bigger standpoint. It's diving down, trying to get to, woo, look at it. Look at that. Right? Look at that. That's a zone that I'm gonna be definitely keeping an eye on the pound. All right, so the two is staying a little bit lower. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one down here. Let me go on the daily. It's always good to look at the market on the bigger time frame, especially the daily, because the daily gives you where the trend of the market is. Okay, so all right, well, all right. I'll have to take what the tool says. So for the pound, we expect the pound to continue to the downside a bit. Again, all we just do is wait for a pullback. Right, we wait for a pullback. We have to wait for the market to open up to give us that pricing level. We could go off our old price as well. So we have a fair price level right here. So we could look for it to pull back into that zone. And then again, for market to continue to the downside on this pound. Now we'll check the news briefly and see if there's anything that we'll check and see if there's anything that could turn this around. But for the moment, all right, I'll send this to you. So make sure that you copy oil and gold. Make sure that you copy this link before we close off, okay? All right, let's check oil quickly. Oil, I sent out a setup on oil there last week. Oil was up and down like a yo-yo, right? Again, it's supposed to be pushing up because of what is happening in terms of the war in Israel, right? But yeah, oil was up, oil was down, oil was up, oil was down. So for the moment, let's give this, yeah, for the moment, I'll have to pull this back a little bit, right? I gotta pull this back a little bit. I'll send the US 30 setup. Okay. So I will look for oil to get to discounted pricing levels, probably. Look, we have equal lows right here. So I will look for that liquidity sweep below here on the oil. Look for a liquidity sweep below here, and then we look for a move back to the upside. Okay. Quickly US 30, and then we look at gold, and we're done. So US 30, last week I was looking for that liquidity sweep above these highs. Exactly, did that exactly to the pip, right where the arrow was dropped off. Then we saw a recovery. At the moment, though, US 30 is in the middle of the ocean, so I wouldn't do anything on it just yet. Let's go to the economic calendar quickly. Let's see what's happening this week. All right. So the PMI for the pound is very important. Okay. That is going to see how the businesses are feeling about the economy. So this is something that could really could either turn the pound around, or we could see the pound sinking depending on what the figures are going to be looking like here. We also have PMI for the US on Tuesday as well. So because we have the British pound and the US currency in that GBP USD currency pair, both of these news items are important for the pound. Okay. Wednesday, big news, CPI, that's inflation rate. That is going to be important for the AUD. And then the rest of the week is really a lot of US news. And then we have interest rate decision on the Japanese yen. The last interest rate decision on the yen, they raised the interest rate from negative to 0%, right? So there's 0% interest rate on the yen. We don't expect them to change. It's definitely not going to change. I mean, if it does change, it's going to be a big surprise. But I don't think it's going to change because they held on to that negative for such a long time. All right. So quickly gold, and then we'll wrap it up. Right. So gold, I'm really intending for it. Oh, so this was the setup where we caught it right here to the pip. Let me bring up a different gold chart because I want to keep that setup. Beautiful. All right. So what shall we do on this gold? Well, I am still pretty much biased for gold to continue pushing upside. I'm seeing potential places where we could have some liquidity here. So we're always being conscious now. We're being conscious about the liquidity hunts, which is within this equilibrium zone. It's close to an order block and a mood swing level, but I will look for price to sweep below here. Right? I'll look for price to sweep below here and grab that liquidity. Remember that price really can't move in one direction or the next without liquidity anyways. We need sellers for buyers and we need buyers for sellers, okay? So therefore, that's why the liquidity hunt is very important and is an important concept to grasp. Okay, so we wait for that liquidity, we look for some movements to the upside, and then boom. Okay, so we look for entry beneath here. All right, that's the new entry level that we're looking at. Okay, great. Fine. So we're gonna wrap it up there for the minute. It was fantastic to have you guys on as always. We're gonna crush this week as we crushed last week. We keep winning. Okay. So for all those who you want to get some access to this, just drop me a line, drop me a message, and we get you some access to this Mood Swing version 2 tool, which has the smart money concepts built into it. It's just going to be fire upon fire upon fire. Have a fantastic week, everyone, and we will see you on the inside. Bye-bye for now.